Hi everyone, Joella here. Don't forget to like and subscribe down at the bottom. Um, so what am I doing today? I've been taking some notes. So I've been working on my cacao ceremony mixture. I did a video of doing it last time. Um, so what I put in it is the cacao powder, a touch of salt, a touch of pepper, a touch of cayenne pepper, a touch of cinnamon, and nutmeg. Also a little star anise powder. And then I did add a touch of honey. Normally in ceremony we don't add sweetener. But yeah. So I'll be coming out with little shot glasses. Been working on them, but I want to add the rose petals, so I need to order those first before I finish making the recipe. So this is what it looks like. You can kind of see. And on my phone, I don't have my regular phone holder, so it's been kind of funny. You can see it's kind of thick, but I don't have my espresso machine yet, so it doesn't, I don't have anything to make it extra frothy with. I love that combination. So, the other thing that I've been working on, that I've been doing research on, oh yeah, my tofu. I made a cranberry sauce, so I mixed that in. Tastes like holiday dinner. So, this tea blend I've been working on, I love it so much. I wanted to kind of let you see it layered before I shake it up, because I put it in layers. So at the bottom here, let's move my notes around a little bit. And as I was writing down my notes for the tea, it was very interesting. All the synchronicities that they had, each herb or flower, or however you want to put it. So the first thing we have down here at the bottom are the rose hips, if you can kind of see what they look like. And then the second layer right over here, I kind of left it up like this so you can see that's the hibiscus, right? And then this really fluffy one here, that's the red raspberry. And then over here is the peppermint leaf. And then I did the Tulsi pure leaves. And then I don't know if you can see them because there's not a lot. I put half as much anise as I do anything else. But in there are some anise seeds. And then I have the nettle leaf. And then I have the South African honey brush. Now, couldn't find a lot on the South African honey brush, but this is, gosh, I wish you could smell it, but that's what the South African honey brush looks like, because it's the one that's on the top. And then, like, see if I don't know if I can go down to the anise at all. Probably not. It's underneath the stinging nettle leaf. So now that I presented the different layers to you, because there's 8 different teas in here, but it's so full, it's going to be so hard to shake. Anyway, so I was doing research, and yes, I use all certified organic products. I have the list in here on which distributor, where I got it from, and everything. My notes in this one is the benefits of each one. So for the rose hips, the one that's at the bottom, take a while for this to go around. I'm just going to try to do a quick rundown a little bit, because not all this information is fully congruent. I need to put it in the computer and then make a book, because it's just like too much to explain. But I picked these 8 particular herbs or teas um, because of their similar properties. So I'm thinking about calling it my Infinite 8 Feminine Tea. But it's also an empowerment tea. It's also a full immune boosting tea, blood purifying tea, very high in all kinds of antioxidants. One of the things I love about this particular tea and the similarities from almost all the herbs and everything, I can pull this back a little bit, so I'm not showing you the other stuff as much anymore, is their high antioxidant content, and just about every single herb had vitamin C. Yeah, like, what does that matter? Vitamin C is very important for anti-aging. So that's like a big thing to me right now. Yeah. Also, a lot of hair benefits. For example, rose hips itself, which was the one at the bottom, which I can't see anymore. It's getting there. I want to be fully be shaking this for a while. You have your ACEs, your vitamin A, B, C. Don't really see the vitamin D in everything, because you usually get that from the sunlight. But they do all have some vitamin E. But like for the rose hips, for example, it has 76% from the daily necessary intake, or however they put that terminology. I forget how they do those beneficial facts, dietary facts. But yeah, but they all, not all of them, but most of them have fiber. They all have a calcium, magnesium, potassium complex to them. The rose hips itself also has the iron and magnesium, pretty decent magnesium count in comparison to some of the other ones. And phosphorus was decent too. But I think I've almost got it blended. Yeah, I'm so excited. I can't wait to make this tea. I know. I was sitting there mixing my ceremony with my intentions and everything before the video got cold. Before I started, I was gonna go reheat it, but now I was like, no, I want to start the video. But yeah, so almost every one of the herbs I put in here aids to good digestion, immune system, weight loss, anti-aging, skin repair, reduce heart disease. Oh, diabetes too. That was very popular in all of them. Rose hips was definitely good for that, and the heart, digestion, kidney function, and then for like, oh yeah, and if you're into the planetaries and everything, what I find really nice about these herbs is I was getting like a lot of different elements. Like rose hips is the water element. It's a feminine herb. It's ruled under Pisces. It's a Venus and Moon herb. So I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. Makes sense since it's all about feminine and empowerment. Like the hibiscus flower includes imperial beauty, romantic love, passion, friendship, hospitality, and joy. Because the flower itself signifies imperial beauty. And then that also goes inside with its spirit animal for the hibiscus is the hummingbird. So I was like all excited about that. And it's a native flower for Polynesian and Hawaii and everything. So it's very luxurious, very always made a deep impression on me growing up because we always had hibiscus bushes at my grandma's house. I even have a hibiscus tattoo, but you can't see that. Oh yeah, it's also associated with like the butterfly and the dragonfly. So, but like I said, with the vitamins and everything, has calcium, magnesium, vitamin D, fiber, potassium, protein, iron, high vitamin C content, 72%. Like, yeah, and the iron content was like 113%. It's like mad crazy. I was like, what? So that's why this blend is really good, especially when you're going through your flow and stuff like that, because it gives you a stronger replenishment. It's also really good for nursing and things like that, because it helps with milk production. That's more in the one of the other herbs down at the bottom, the stinging nettle. I'll get more into that. But right now on the hibiscus, fights inflammation, which they all do, supports liver health, lowers cholesterol. And what I love about this one, because of the way the protein and calcium are in alignment with this particular herb, it really helps with healthy bones and teeth, which I definitely need. And it's also to help boost well-being, which is really important when we're in flow. And the high vitamin C content also naturally helps produce collagen. So that's like major. So and the other herb is the red raspberry. And that's been used for like centuries for menstruals. Like, I was reading about it and I was like, history, everywhere, always. And of course, it has the phosphorus, magnesium, potassium, vitamin B, vitamin K, vitamin C, iron. It's not as much as the iron as the other one. This one has a higher manganese. But this also has the proteins and the fibers. And then has your A's and stuff like that. A's, B's, calcium, zinc. So it has everything. It's well-rounded. One of the things that this one had that the other one doesn't have is the copper, which I found interesting. Because one of the big things that I read about the red raspberry is it helps protect against cell damage, which is really cool. And because of its anti-inflammatory properties, it's really good for arthritis and things like that. And again, anti-aging, natural omegas, weight loss, all that good stuff. It really has that female connection for creativity. In numerology, it's the number 7. I'm not sure where that came in play, but it was there. It's also good for fertility. And eating berries, if you eat red raspberries, represents pleasure. So, and beauty, and yeah, I was just like, okay, super cool stuff. So then I got a little tired of writing, and I wrote more on the other side than this side, but I wrote a lot. Because I was filling out 2 pages, and I wrote really for the other one. But I was trying to do facts on this one and spirit on this one, and this one kind of got reversed, or kind of got mixed. I don't know. But for the peppermint leaf, it's a Venus, but it's masculine and it's air. So that's kind of cool. So I put the peppermint in thinking, oh, I'm going to switch it up a little bit. But no, it also is supposed to do for menstrual, stuff like that. The menstrual cramps, straight up, said that specifically. Like, some things will say different things towards it, but not exactly menstrual cramps. And it's a symbol of hospitality. Because in, was it Greek mythology? Yeah, it was the Greek mythology, where Zeus and so on were in town, but they were dressed in disguise, and no one was inviting them or feeding them. But the person invited them in, the first thing they did was clean the table with mint oil. And so it uplifted the mood of the room. And that's where mint was titled the herb of hospitality. I found that interesting. But yeah, it's really good for protecting your home. You know, you could put it anywhere where you feel like there's like tension or negativity and you want to like de-stress the room. Yeah, like right after a fight or something, just sprinkle it all over the place. Or if like you have bad dreams or something, put it in a sash, you know. But definitely drink, and if you really want to go into meditation, or if you're gonna do something for your self-care and ritual or whatever, it would be good to drink some peppermint tea before doing that. It clears the air, does a cleansing process, and things like that. It's also really good for grieving. I found that interesting because it's working for transformation and different things like that. And it really soothes the stomach, helps you relax because it has that uplifting feeling. So it kind of deviates from all the negativity, just kind of diminishes it, which I found pretty neat. And the next one was the Tulsi prayer leaves, but I kind of skipped over that. I don't know why, because I was associating it with the rose hips, with rose tea, and all of that. So the next one, because I did that one first. The next one was the anise. So, you know, it still has the calcium, magnesium, potassium, copper, iron, all the basics, same basic core minerals that we all need just to get through painful times. Yeah, and I was like, they're the same 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They all have the same basic 8 in different quantities, but they all have the same basic 8. This one didn't say anywhere about the vitamin C, but I didn't get into that so much because all the different places that I was referencing to weren't of the same reference base. They were like all over the place. And you would think that you'd find it in like a group where you could go to one place and just get all of them. But no, it wasn't really working that way tonight. So I was a little frustrated on that. So that's why when I got to this point, I was just like, let me just put down the top notes. But yeah, it was talking about mixing the anise with cinnamon. It's really good for sleep. And it's also a great way if you want to have like a psychic connection at night, if you're trying to work becoming closer with your ancestors or your guides, spirit guides. Mix anise and cinnamon. Have anise and cinnamon tea. Yeah, you can take this tea and put a shot of cinnamon in your tea and you'll be good to go. I didn't put any powder herbs in this set because, you know, this is all a dry herb set. I do all the powder herbs individually in the smaller jars. This was the first time that I've actually created my own tea mix and then a tea for resale. And my motivation was because I had a libido tea, and then when I went to reorder it, it was out of stock. And I was like, oh no, that means I have to make my own tea now. Oh, I was not happy. You know, because there's still a few things that were in that tea that are totally not in this tea, and things are in this tea that were totally not in that tea. Because, like, that tea had licorice and something else, but I try to stay within a budget and only order a certain amount every month, so I'm not, like, overspending. So I just got the clove and the valerian and some more basil and the sweet almond oil, because I'm going to work on different face products. I've been putting some of the recipes that I want to remember in my Facebook feed. So go check out my Facebook. I put a lot of little interesting things in there that I haven't talked about yet, that I will be talking about. They'll be in my feed. Or I'll make little TikTok videos to remind myself of make a YouTube video. So they're all kind of interconnected, but a little bit different. And then one of my biggest things about doing these videos is to get myself comfortable. Because one day I want to do a TED Talk. I'm going to do a TED Talk. I don't know if it'll be by the end of this year, but definitely by next year. I'm still getting my footing in on this year because my holiday depression was really intense. So today's my first day back at work, I guess you could say. I mean, I've done a couple of massages here and there, but as far as working on my own business, this is my first day back at work since the holidays. Because I haven't been able to focus to sit and write and have these conversations. But yeah, let me have a little bit of thing to relax with. Oh, that's so good. Because cacao is super rich. But it's like, I'll hit some notes of the other herbs that I put in it, like the cardamom and the cayenne pepper. I'll feel them rolling around in my mouth and breaks up the intense of the cacao. It's really cool. So we talked about anise a little bit. Oh, and a big note, if you're having bad dreams, put in an anise flower under your bed or make a little stash. Yeah, I was like, okay. And it's another one to lighten up your intuition. You know, not just lighten up the mood, but lighten up your intuition. Oh, and the terminology on this one was menstrual discomfort. I was like, okay, like really? They changed the terms that much from just one herb to the next? Like it still means the exact same thing. But anyway, I thought that was funny. But anise is really big for if you want to do divination, contact in other planes, feel more passion in your life. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. You know, it's high in antioxidants, so it's high antimicrobial. I don't know how to pronounce those words. I gotta work on that. It's another one on skin treatments, really good against different viruses. And I was like, viruses? It also specifically said menopause and bronchial something or other. Oh yeah, and obesity. They don't put to help lose weight. They literally just put obesity. And I'm like, okay, just change the terminology, but you're still meaning the same thing. It's good for nausea, upset stomach, runny nose. I was like, all right. So then the next one that we have, we have two more left, is the stinging nettle. And of course it has the same with the calcium, magnesium, B6, iron, vitamin K, vitamin A, vitamin C, potassium, you know, and it's also skin irritation, antifungal, all that. And you know, this was interesting. Because, you know, one of the biggest things about the stinging nettle, and the reason why it's called stinging nettle, is because you have to be very careful if you are going to prepare it yourself. Like if you grow it and pick it, and because those needles, they do sting, like major. Like you want to like just pick them up with tweezers. I don't know how I process it, but I'd rather buy that one than grow that one. Because even though it grows crazy wild, like everywhere except Hawaii. And I was like, okay. So I have my hibiscus and I have my nettle. One thing from a place that grows everything except the one thing. I was like, okay. You know, because the hibiscus is the flower of Hawaii. But the only place nettle doesn't grow in the United States is Hawaii. And I was like, wow, interesting. As nettle loves nutritious soil. And like Hawaii is one of the most nutritious soils. So I don't understand how that process is and why. It's something I want to research later on because I found that interesting. But yeah, so if you can get it and not have to worry about preparing it, it's more nutritious than spinach, kale, or asparagus. I was like, what? Yeah, so they call it nature's wild, um, most nutritious plant. I was like, all right, cool. Good to know. Something to put in your daily food diet. Like it has astringent, antifungal, antibacterial, anti-inflammatory properties. Like it purifies your blood. It pulls toxins out of your blood. I'm like, cool. Like, how can you get any better than that? You know, that gives you better circulation. Oh, it was funny too, because one of the things that said was like, helps cure baldness in men. I was like, okay, we'll put that in there. I'll remember that in my notes. Specifically said treats hay fever. So that's like one of those things. Nettle is like one of those things you want in your medicine cabinet 24/7. If you don't drink the tea every day, have it as a tincture in your cabinet for when you're starting to feel ill. That's your first medicine to go to. And it's not my professional opinion. I don't have a professional opinion. I've just been reading today, and that is my summary of my notes that I have gathered. Okay, take it as you will. It's up to you. Do your own research. But from what I found so far, I need to keep this in my daily life. So this tea is going to become part of my daily life. I'm not just going to be drinking it during my menstrual cycle. Because of so many things all these herbs do. I'm just like blown away. Like I didn't even think about it. Like when I was putting it together, I wanted to call it the Infinite Eight, you know, feminine tea. And I was like, yeah, that sounds a really cool title. And then I researched the term Infinite Eight. And I did not like some of the results I was reading. So I was like, okay, yeah, that's kind of creepy. I'll leave that alone. Yeah, you can do your own research and figure out what I'm talking about. There's some other things too that were pretty cool, but like it took up 5 pages of the Google search, and I was like, oof, whatever. Oh, it's funny too, because you can make a dye from the flower. The nettle flower is yellow. Yeah, it's that potent. I was like, that's cool to know. So if you want to do natural paints, you know you can use the nettle flowers to make your yellow. I was like, that's cool. So, and it's really big on using for protection and healing, and you know, since it does heal wounds and helps circulation and stuff, that's why it goes in protection spells. You know, hex breaking. And last but not least, the one I love the most now, I picked this particular ingredient because it was in my libido tea, but when I was doing research on it, it was a little hard to find some research on it. I don't know if it's because not as many people have used this, or what it is, if, you know, why, but the information I did find is the South African honeybrush. Remember that was the one that I showed you that was at the top, but it's all mixed in now? So it was interesting because I found a couple different recipes for a couple different teas for it. So I'm going to try those out and see how they work out, and if I can make them, I'll make them. But I don't have all the ingredients to some of them, so I'm going to have to figure out and play with it a little bit and see how it comes out, and then I'll let you know. And if I come up with the right recipe, then I'll put it together in a blend. So basically what they use it for is for coughing, breathing issues, specifically said menopause, aid digestion, soothes menopause for like hot flashes, uncomfortable mood swings, helps balance your hormones. I was like, definitely need some hormone balancing. So I was like, okay, so that's why they put it in the libido tea, because it was hormone balancing. It didn't matter about the age thing. I was like, okay, because it has bioactive compounds. And it's also supposed to reduce wrinkles on your face, so I can't wait. Like all these teas said tightening of the skin, reduces wrinkles, or something rather to that, or clears up acne, or da-da-da. Cancer fighting, balanced sugar levels, anti-inflammatory, heart health care booster, keeps bones healthy. This was interesting on this one specifically because when I was reading it says help prevent IBS and Crohn's disease. like specifically said that on this particular herb. So I was like, oh, okay, yeah. And then of course it says treats obesity again instead of, helping lose weight. I liked when the other one said help lose weight instead of just straight up obesity. I think it's kind of rude, but I don't know. Like I said, these are my first draft notes. I'm going to put them into my own book to where they read a little more. I'll be doing a lot more research, not just one night. But, yeah, it was another one that was for love and fertility and creation and nurturing life, enjoying sweet moments and celebration. So that's what this tea kind of is supposed to be inducing and stuff like that. So this is going to be my personal blend that I'm going to travel with, and I'll be sharing with my friends. I'll be like, hey, you want to try out my new tea? Yeah, I sell it. So I will be putting this in the store soon as I can get back there to get it put in. I do still need to get my labels for my business, but everything takes time and management and all of that. So there's a little bit of information on the different herbs that's going in this new blend of tea that I designed or created or put together. However you want to say it, made. I love it. It's beautiful. I had it the other day when I was first putting it together. Yeah, because the jars I'm selling are half the size. I'm not. Yeah. And I wanted to keep it in the jar because it keeps it better sealed. It keeps the freshness in more and all that good stuff. I do have some sample teas in the smaller pouches, but not of this particular blend. Because in the other jars, I have them set up in the layers like I originally did when I showed you when I started. That's not something I can do in the bags because the bags are too small. But it's definitely worth the investment, for sure. Every female should have this tea in their house. And it had some really interesting good properties for men too, so I wouldn't put it away, guys. I wouldn't put it away. Drink some with your friends. Anyway, so that's my information on my ceremonial cacao that I make at home for myself that I'm gonna be putting in little sample jars so y'all can try my mixture and see what you think, and then I'll go from there. Thanks so much for listening to my little intro today, and I hope you have an amazing, beautiful, grand rising. You blessed souls. Remember, I love you, and I love me, and you love you, and I'll take care of me, and you take care of you, and we'll be good. Yeah.